Time's up too. The man gets home. As soon as he sits down, his cell phone rings. He almost got killed by 3 killers, and it's time for round 2. So they tell him he has to meet at the new location and go through the next test. So he gets up and he gets there. He's sitting in the car. He's drinking his beer. He is in no hurry to go in. Cell phone rings. They asked him if he's there. He says yes. Hangs up. You know, he, like I said, he is in no hurry because he doesn't know what's waiting for him. That's why he wants to finish his drink, because he might not make it out. This might be the last thing that he gets to drink. It's a dog-eat-dog world that he's about to step into. The only thing that he knows for sure is the people that are in there have orders to kill him. So once he finishes his drink, he gets out and he's walking along. This barn is an older barn. It's not like the other one. It has cracks in it and it's made of wood. So he tries to peek in, but it's just like dark shadows, so he really can't see anything. So he goes to the door and he kind of like waves his arm. You know, he's figuring if somebody's going to shoot something off, better his arm than his head, because he's unarmed. That was one of the qualifications, again, for this test, that he has no weapons, at least not going in there. He's hoping to take some weapons off of somebody when he gets in there. So he does the arm again, and nothing. So either people aren't watching or they didn't notice. So he figures he ducks in real quick and goes underneath this tractor. He waits to see if he hears any noise of people running around or saying anything to give away their position. He doesn't hear anything. So either they didn't see him come in or they're just being very careful. Now, from a distance, he kind of sees what it looks like somebody up against the wall at the far end of the barn. But he's not going to get up and walk over there. So he starts crawling underneath the vehicles. And he gets to this one car that doesn't have any motor. So he's able to maneuver himself better underneath of it. Okay? And he can see that there is a redheaded woman that's actually tied to the wall. Now, is she bait? Was she the last contestant here? He doesn't know. But it's odd. So he keeps watching her to see if he can see if she's breathing. And she is. So now the question is, does he try to save her? You know? Because it could be a trap. But then everything's going through his head of, okay, well, 2 against whatever odds that he has is better than by himself. Granted, she couldn't really help too much because she looks weak and stuff like that. But even if they come and attack her, maybe he can pick them off. 2-second delay could mean the world between life and death. So he decides he's going to at least try to save her. It might be stupid, but whatever. So he's able to come out and step out of the motor because it's all open. And he creeps over to her. Now she doesn't notice that he's coming, so he puts his hand on her mouth because he doesn't want her to say anything or make a noise. And she slowly opens up her eyes, apparently very worn down from being hanging on the wall so long. So he's still looking at every turn because, he's terrified of, he doesn't know what's going on. And he reaches up to try to untie her, and she spins her head sideways, which she had a razor in her mouth that cuts his hand. And then she takes the ropes off because they were never tied. She kicks him in the balls when he goes down. She lassos the rope around his neck and rolls over his back because she's going to try to choke him out. Problem is, like I said, she's a small little woman. He's a bigger guy. He's got the weight advantage. So when he does get to his feet and he puts his weight down, sends her back flying over up against the wall. Now, when he does that, he's trying to get up, and he can see that if another person is running his way. So now it's going to be 2 against 1. He has to do something fast, okay? So when the redhead comes after him, he moves aside, grabs her head, and throws her up in the air and spins her down on his knee to break her neck. Now he's down on one knee. He had to sacrifice, taking out one so it's not 2 against 1, but it did cost him a hit because she's flying in the air, this blonde, and kicks him right in the face. So he's down on the ground. He can't get up. She's stomping and stomping on him. So he tries to crawl his way back in to underneath that car without an engine. Naturally, the blonde just steps over into the engine. Her big mistake, because he crawls out of the side, taking her leg with him, and pulls her down. Now, she's inside the engine, down, he's outside, but he's holding on to her leg. And he puts both of his legs up against the car because he's yanking on her leg like a rope, and they're playing tug of war. She puts her leg up, trying to pull her leg back. He doesn't care. He can't rip her leg off, but if he can dislocate it, anything helps him out, okay? So he's pulling as hard as he can, but he's not seeing some black lady coming, swinging an actual light to a car on a wire, and when he looks up, the thing hits him across the face, busting his cheek open, but he lets go of the blonde, so now it's 2 against 1 here, and she's about to hit again, and cell phone rings. He's curling up in a ball to try to protect his head, and he sees that they're not there. But the cell phone ring's still going on, so he has to try to find the cell phone. Somebody's got to answer it and figure out what's going on. They're not answering it. So he finally gets to it, and it stops ringing. So he's bleeding out. Well, not bleeding out, but he's bleeding pretty good. And he sees that there's a screwdriver on the back of a truck. And, he needs some kind of weapons. Apparently, they're using everything in the barn as a weapon. So he needs to do the same. He goes to reach for it, and somebody starts shooting a whole bunch of nails at him from a nail gun. Now, he doesn't pull back because he needs a weapon. So he reaches in, and he gets the screwdriver, but he does take a nail to the hand. And he ducks down behind a truck, And as he's trying to pull out the nail, the blonde comes around, kicks him, and she's got a 2x4 now. So when she goes to swing the 2x4, he's able to block the 2x4, take the nail, stab it right in the inner thigh of her, trying to hit a main artery, But either way, it's enough for her to bend down, and he pulls the nail back out and just starts stabbing her right in the neck till the blood is like flowing out like a fountain. Okay? So she goes down, the phone starts ringing. His hands are covered in blood, and he's trying to answer the phone. And he can't because it's all wet, Actually, on the last ring, he's able to actually get it on. And the voice on the phone says, you guys can begin in 5 minutes. And he's like, man, you're too late, He said, they already started. And the guy tells him, well, then continue. And he's like, no shit. And he hangs up, but then it gives him an idea. So he starts announcing real loud. He was like, it's not my fault. We got to start tomorrow. What do you mean start tomorrow? They're the ones that did the false start, And he's pretty much blaming it on them. So here comes the black lady. She comes running out, and she grabs the phone from him because she's all pissed off. They all thought that they were playing by the rules, right? But then out of the corner here comes an Asian woman with a sword, a heavyset Mexican woman with a freaking rim of a tire, which is steel. Either one of those weapons, it would be game over if he got hit by. So the black lady's claiming when she picked up the phone that, hey, it was Deborah that started it. It wasn't our fault. And soon she says that, she realizes there's nobody on the phone. So now he's got the screwdriver in his hand, and he just sticks her right in the freaking head to kill her. He takes the black lady's body and spins it around and kind of throws it towards the Asian sword. He takes the 2x4 real quick and smacks it across the Mexican lady's face. Now he can't get a second hit because the Asian woman was able to throw the black lady sideways. Now she's got her sword. So he's got a 2x4, but against a sword it ain't no good. So he takes off running, and the Asian woman takes off running after him. Now the Mexican lady, she goes to stand back up, realizing that he knocked her teeth out, or some of them, with that 2x4. So she's pissed off. She reaches down and pulls the damn screwdriver out of the black lady's head, because she can run faster with the screwdriver than the heavy-assed metal frame of the tire. So he's bolting, he's jumping on one car, climbing over a truck, and hoping that she can't keep up with him. But this Asian woman is like right on his ass with a sword, you know, and he's not going to stop. But he spots a chain on the wall on the far end. Now he knows a chain is thicker, and that sword ain't going to be able to cut through a chain. But it can do damage to the 2x4. So he throws the 2x4 back at her. Misses her, but just them couple seconds of delays gives him a chance to get to that chain first. So he pulls the chain off the wall, and he starts swinging it crazily to try to keep her back, right? And she's trying to hit him with the sword. Now, he blocks one of the swings of the sword, but when he does, she kind of lunges it in and catches his side, you know, and then pulls it back out. So he took a slice. So he's still keeping at her at bay by swinging the chain, and he notices there's this huge nail sticking out on the wall. So he starts trying to swing the chain to kind of back her up towards the wall, you know. And even though she's backing up, she's smiling, which makes him know that the Mexican lady can't be far behind. You know, she's got to be almost there. So what he does is he throws the chain at her and kind of throws his whole body up against her and almost like tackles her up against the wall. Now the nail goes through her ear, but not her head. So he's like, fuck, because he was actually aiming for her head to kill her. But he's got her pinned up there, so they're wrestling with the sword. And he's trying to wrestle with the sword, and he hits her, pulls it away, turns around just in time, because the Mexican lady was about to stick him in the head with the screwdriver. The problem is the sword's longer and is now in her gut. So he's turning it to try to kill her while that screwdriver is like right at his head, while he's still keeping the Asian woman pinned down. Now she's punching and kicking him with everything she's got, and he's taking some hits, but he needs to know that he needs to eliminate the one woman so he can take out the other one. As soon as the Mexican lady falls, he relieves the pressure off the Asian woman, spins around and chops her head off with the sword. Now he stands there for a few minutes, making sure nobody else is coming out. He was pretty sure everybody came out when he did the whole fake phone call thing. And he goes over and sits on the back end of a truck, kind of nursing his wounds because he got a little sliced up, he got a little busted up. And the phone rings, and he wipes off all the blood on his jeans and everything and hits the button, and the guy says, "Good job, we'll call you for the next one." So he slowly gets up, throws the phone, and walks out.